signatories on the account, because one is now, well, we lost one person from the executive, and Mrs. Urquhart is not doing well at this point, so we have to be, shuffling up stuff and changing around stuff. So I don't know if she's in a position at this point to answer, but for sure we'll discuss it at the executive, and we can give an update at the next meeting.
I just sit back in here. How often do you have an election?
Once every 2 years.
It's once every 2 years.
Okay, and when is your AGM? Because usually it's your AGM that you would present the accounts and all those things.
Yes.
Yes,
you already have an AGM already?
Well, the election, you want to update on the election, Elaine?
Well, we should have had an election earlier this year, but because of the COVID and other reasons, it was not possible. We are trying to put things in place to see how soon we can get it done. One problem we're having, though, is that our membership list needs to be updated, and we are going through that process now of updating the list to make sure we have all the persons who are currently members on, and those persons who need to be taken off. So we're working on that list now, and then we can, once you've sorted that out and sorted out the accounting part of it in terms of the signatories to the accounts and making sure that everybody who is on is paid up to date and all of that, we can set the election. I'm thinking probably by the end of the year, if not early next year.
Did you hear what was that?
Yes, I just wanted to know at what point do you have an election?
You have a what?
Do we have a what?
An election. I just wanted to know how often and when it is done. That was my question.
Oh, and we had said every 2 years. We couldn't hear you clearly. That was what was happening, because you're not coming through very clearly. It's a little bit muffled.
When was the last election?
Okay, the last election was, we were doing election, I think from last year. That didn't happen, and we were trying for early this year. It didn't happen either. So we're saying maybe by the end of this year or early next year, the latest. Because we have to sort out, as I said, the membership forms and getting everybody up to date with their payments and all of that. And then we will set the election date. But it should be late this year or early next year, the latest.
Denny?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, can we have, is it possible to have Wholeness and Forward and the other virtual meeting?
Next month.
Well, as we said, Beverly, this is something the executive has, we're gonna write them a letter and ask them, invite them to the meeting. That's one of the plans afoot.
Okay.
Okay.
Sandra?
Yes.
Just a reminder, whenever you're ready, you can just go ahead with the summary whenever you're ready. You don't have to tell me.
Okay. Were there no other questions?
Hello, how are you? Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
So one of the things, I know that you're going to draft a letter. We talked about this at the last month's meeting. Do you need assistance with drafting a letter? Because Beverly and I would be more than willing to assist.
You mean the letter to the MP?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so that we can make sure that this becomes an actionable item that materializes at the next month's meeting and no later than the September meeting.
We will make sure of that. We are aware of how important it is, because it's something that the association has been fighting for a long time. So we know that it's very important. So we'll get that done.
No problem.
You have a word on it.
The letter?
Say that again?
It's a more handy, lighter, teamwork.
To do what? To write the letter? Yes.
Yeah, what about having signatories? Like signatures or people like saying like put your names when you send in the letter, just endorse by, for example, myself, all the people that live on Arbor Drive, because they need to understand the seriousness. Because unless you live on Arbor Drive or you've been affected, I don't think people understand the seriousness of what's happening behind those gullies. So if we can have our signatures endorsed, that would be good to say we endorse it, because we need both them to come on so that we can actually put them to task.
Well, okay, let us put it this way. Let us first invite them, because we haven't really sent out a letter to invite them. So let us first invite both of them, and if we get nowhere from there, then we take that other step.
Could you repeat that, please, Ashley? Or Sandra?
Okay, I'm saying let us first take the step to invite both of them, and if we get nowhere with that, then we take another step. But let us first invite them to the meeting.
Right. So my initial question is, you need assistance with drafting it, and then we can give it to you all, and you guys can edit it, and then go from there. I'm just trying to offer any assistance so it's not burdensome on any one person.
I understand that, but I think we have a team here that is capable of doing drafting, because we have done letters like that before. I appreciate the offer.
As far as I'm aware, both of them, when I spoke to both of them, they said that they have never been invited to any of the meetings. So that's
not true. That's not true. That is.
But we established that wasn't true.
But
we
they
had
are
established.
saying, one moment, let me finish. They are saying if invited, they will attend. Now they have no excuse because it's all virtual now, so they don't physically have to get out the house to come. So we need to put them at top, because an election is coming soon. They're going to be campaigning. They're going to be coming to Arborview to campaign as well. And there's no way we should be voting for them or anyone vote for them unless they fix all the things that needs to be done. Because every time I look on Facebook, I see Juliet in all her other areas doing this, fixing road, doing this, and I see nothing happening to Arborview.
Paul will too.
I agree with you, Carol, but at the end of the day,
you know,
we share the same sentiment, because that is the reality, that enough is not being done. And this situation with the Harbor Drive and Southern Cross and all of this has been going on for a long time. Too long.
So it's time Arborview gets some attention now. Because every time I look, I see Mavis Bank, I see Papina, I see all the other areas getting this done, that done. And when I look, I don't see nothing going on in Arborview.
That is so true.
That is very true.
That is so true.
I agree with you, Carol, but in terms of them not having an excuse, they're politicians and they will always have an excuse, because even when Wholeness came and we called her out on that lie that she did not receive an invitation, she was still holding that excuse, and we all know that it's not true.
Well, we put them into power, so we need to demand that they give us service, because they can't come back and want us to vote to put them back in power when they're not serving us. We are the ones who pay them, so we need to stand up to them and insist that they get the job done. Otherwise, we get rid of them. We'll put them back in power.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Carol.
So let's think about this. So you guys are drafting the letter and you're sending it to the politicians. Another thing that you can also do is utilize the same social media, and the very same letter that you send to them, you can put it on social media. They respond quickly to social media as well.
Okay. Yes,
So
that's a good point. That's a good point. And I'm all for that.
Thought of that.
Yes, I'm all for that.
Time here, and it's not, not just mailed on the letter, but also put it on the same letter on social media. Once it goes on social media,
nobody has an excuse.
Yeah,
so once it's there, they can't say they never see it, they never get it, never delivered, never know.
Right, exactly. It holds them accountable.
True, I agree with you. That's a good suggestion.
And by the way, I have pictures of the area, so we can even, and that's another thing why we wanted a blog, because I Orion and I went to Harbor Drive where the issue is, and I couldn't believe that that was really what was happening.
Exactly.
So we can even include in the post if we're
I
really,
have all
really.
those pictures, Danik. I have all those pictures in. I remember it's my wall.
If you can send those to
All
me,
pictures.
I would appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Because the picture that I took was not from somebody's yard inside, it would have been from behind the wall. So if you can also send those to me, that would be good.
We have
Yeah,
pictures
but I
and
can send them
videos.
to you.
So could we just digress for a quick second? So regarding what my cousin just mentioned, Carol, she also indicated that the letter will have a lot of weight if you put the names of the affected persons or individuals that are part of the Harborview Citizen Association on there, so that we can also call to the attention that it's not just the association, but individuals that make up that association.
But Raquel, back to what Sandra had said regarding that suggestion, I think it would take a longer time though to get like persons to sign it.
No, you don't have to get them signed. You get them endorsed. So, for example, I agree, Bev agree, Raquel agree, all the people who live on Arbor Drive, we just get them to say they agree, and you just, when you send the letter, you just type their names to say endorsed by.
At the very end of the letter, you do a CC and or endorsed, and then you put all the names of the affected individuals.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a video with Philip Paulwell in summer when he walked with us through there, so I can send you that video as well.
If you can send that to me, I would appreciate it, and we can make something of that story, that whole Mosaic Project
I'm
story.
so passionate. I'm so far away, and I'm so passionate because if I was in Jamaica by now, at some point, some means, I would have to insist that place fixed. Because I'm just fed up now, losing all my.
It's not for lack of trying. It's not for lack of
trying. Believe me.
Yeah, but together, if we all do it together, it's collectively, it takes more than one person to do it. Collectively.
Right. I know Mrs. Speedsmith even went on a radio program about
we
it.
can reinvent ourselves and look a little different.
Right.
We're gonna start over and do the invite to them coming on at our meeting. We're going to start from there, and then we're hoping that we will get some response, some positive response from there.
We should. We need to expose them at all lengths, whatever it takes to expose them until they get it done. They shouldn't allow to come back and campaign for any election unless they fix Harborview.
They do something, yes. I agree with you. That's true. I agree with you.
Hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Yes, we're all in support of that.
Yeah, man. I mean, crazy.
All right, we'll get that done. Thanks for your input. All right, Elaine's just going to update us on what Sergeant Campbell. So let us just go over what Sergeant Campbell had mentioned. He was the first one who gave an update.
Okay, so he said basically there was a reduction in crime in the community. Robberies was down 90%. And this was due basically to the lockdowns that we've been having, the curfews and what we've been experiencing. Domestic violence, he says, is the same, but as usual, the cases are not in Harborview proper, but in the surrounding communities. So they still have a problem with the domestic violence. He says the police were on patrol, either the Harborview police or those from Elliston Road, did patrols in the community. What did he say? Oh, somebody had mentioned about a gentleman, somebody from Sunman apparently, who was terrorizing residents on Tuna Avenue, and it was reported to the police, but he says he knows nothing of that, but he will look into the matter. He's also promising to look into the matter of the burning of coal on the hillside that is affecting some residents, and he advised us that if we see people burning or neighbors burning garbage or whatever, we should advise the police and they will come and speak with them. In terms of the trucks on Harbor Drive, he says the police is not able to prevent them because it's a thoroughfare, so they can't stop them from driving on there. It is something that the KSAC will have to deal with. and they would have to put up a sign that says that the trucks are not to turn on Harbour Drive. Basically, some of the problems that we are experiencing, the police can't really assist us. We need to get the help of the KSAC, reference being the vendors, and again the trucks on Harbour Drive, and even the parking on the road, the double parking on the road. KSAC, we have not been able to get much assistance from KSAC. We have written many letters to them, but very little has been done. So basically, the police hands are tied without the KSAC doing what they ought to do. So I guess we need to look at that. I guess that was it. Oh, somebody mentioned about the bikes, and again, the police can do very little about them riding these bikes because the bikes are not illegal. They are allowed to buy these bikes, and they're allowed to ride them, so the police can't really stop them. I mean, if they're causing too much of a noise nuisance, they can talk to them, but basically that's about it. So they can't really stop there's no solution to that noise pollution that we're experiencing. I think that was basically what he
Yes.
I'm not sure that's the name before. Is it that you said the KSAC would have been part of the intervention regarding the double parking? I got the impression it was more true that is an issue that we would need to.
Oh yes, because he was saying that he knows that parking inside the yards of some houses is limited. Right. So so I guess
to avoid the double parking.
Right. Yes, you're correct.
Okay, and the mention of the 60th anniversary, if we could look if there's any way of exploring that some more as to how we can incorporate it.
Yes, I'm going to update John.
Sandra will update it.
I was just, because Sergeant Campbell was the first to give his update.
Okay, my apologies.
No problem, Carol. So the next thing we dealt with was the flag raising, and as we mentioned that we're gonna, it's scaled back, because of the whole COVID situation. Everybody knows about that. So we're doing the motorcade through the community, and we're going to be trying to issue flags where residents can come out and be a part of it at their gates. We're going to end up at the Aqua Park with just a little limited entertainment, probably just a one or two pieces, and a short message from a speaker, and then we're going to have this live stream. Now, as you mentioned, Carol, about the 60th anniversary, this is something we're going to explore and see what else we could just put in to make it a little bit, give it a little bit of oomph, as best we can. There's too much that we can do at this stage. One, it's close to the event, and two, we really don't have the funding for doing a lot more. And then with the COVID, you have to slow and all of it. So that is one of the things that we're going to do.
I think initially, though, we had said that next year we would have a big celebration, yes, because this year we weren't sure if we would be able to have a flag raising ceremony, yes, this year because of the COVID. So the big plans were put off for next year.
Okay.
All right. And the next thing now that we spoke about was the farmers market, and we're inviting everybody to tell a friend, tell your neighbors, and support it. And we also mentioned the seniors in the area. This is July 11th, starting at 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Harborview Citizens Association will have a booth there, tent there, that will be selling some refreshments, to get a little money to help with our flag raising as well. And with assisting the seniors, that is something we're going to explore. People who drive, they can get, the orders and take it to them, or, if they need a ride, or whoever is willing, whoever is okay in coming out. Because I see some of the seniors traveling up and down, and they have on their mask and they're going out about their business because they feel, it makes them feel relevant. They still are able to help themselves. So, if they want to just get a drive, then we're willing. And if they want to just give a list, then we'll try and assist in that area. The mining update on the page, on the agenda, Brenda was supposed to give, but she didn't get there to speak with the license holder in time. So she didn't want to go ahead and say anything about it without his permission. So I guess at a later date, we can have an update on that. The PR gave the update. The PRO gave the update. Danique?
Yes, Andrew.
Social media.
My update,
Yes.
right, was just concerning the volunteers that are needed for the PR team. Feel free to contact me and take a look at the website as it has been updated, as well as a reminder to be up to date with the membership form on the website, as well as the social media, and to look out for our bingo fundraiser.
All right, so that basically covered what we dealt with for this meeting. Was there anything else anybody had to say concerning the meeting?
Question.
Yes.
I missed the last meeting, so I don't know if it was done in the last meeting. Has the executive been finalized, or are the members still interim? I haven't been able to visit the site in the recent past.
Say that again, Carol?
Is executive still in interim mode, or do we have a fully installed executive now?
Well, we won't have, it's still an interim because we still haven't had an election as yet. So we're still operating with interim persons.
Okay, I appreciate that sharing of the screen, Danny. Thank you.
All right, if that's all that we have, then we will adjourn at this point.
Before we adjourn,
yes.
Excuse me, sorry, before we adjourn, another thing that we discussed was for your treasurer to provide an update regarding the finances of the association. Could we add that to the minutes?
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
And sorry, one other thing is that can we just be reminded? I noticed that in the past we would have confirmed the minutes and see if there were any corrections, etc., in terms of the essence of the minutes. So we'll probably need to just be reminding persons, as Danique did a while ago, to be checking on the minutes to see whether or not all the ideas were captured, those who were present for the previous meeting, so that it is at least confirmed or any needed changes are made, just for going forward.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because they really need to be confirmed and important corrections be made.
Yes, yes. Thanks, Carol. Appreciate that. Well, if there's something further, can we move for an adjournment?
Before we do? Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, before we do, just let me reiterate the point that especially at this time, let us continue to look out for the vulnerable in our community and to ensure that at least they're still being afforded a standard of living, whatever assistance we can, let us do that, especially at this time. All right?
Yes.
That was very good. I motion to adjourn the meeting. This is Raquel Pete.
Thanks, Raquel. Body to second.
I second the meeting, Reverend Wong.
Thanks, Bev. Well, let me say again, thanks for all that joined in and all the contributions and all the suggestions and all the inputs. We really appreciate it. It is so good when we have meetings like on a Sunday. I mean, I know there are a few of you here that are overseas, and we really appreciate your coming in and still being a part of us. It means a lot to us, and your support is invaluable. And we just hope that you continue to be there supporting us. This benefits all of us. So thanks again. And I hope